Hey there, and welcome to the weekly Asylum and Immigration Reform Recap, where I share with you 5 stories of interest for asylum seekers and those who want to stay updated on immigration news. This week, we're discussing
U.S. judge charged for allegedly assisting man in evading immigration authorities. Trump administration welcomes white South African refugees while terminating Afghan protections. 20 states initiate legal action against Trump administration over immigration enforcement funding threats. Agency responsible for protecting immigrant children transforming into enforcement entity. Homeland Security investigates California Immigrant Assistance Initiative.
I'm Brian Manning, and I used to be an asylum officer with the government, but now, as an asylum lawyer, well, I help immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. All right, let's get to the news. First,
a Wisconsin magistrate has been indicted after purportedly helping a Mexican citizen avoid immigration agents through a courthouse rear exit during an apprehension attempt. Milwaukee County Circuit Judge Hannah Dugan faces obstruction charges approved by a federal grand jury, signaling an escalation in Trump's immigration crackdown. According to an FBI affidavit, Judge Dugan became visibly irate upon learning of immigration officials' presence in her courtroom, and after directing them to report to the chief judge, she guided the man and his attorney to a side exit. The individual, Eduardo Flores Ruiz, who had previously been deported in 2013, was apprehended minutes later following a brief pursuit. The incident has ignited partisan controversy, with Republicans backing enforcement measures, while Democrats, including Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers, denounce it as an attempt to undermine our judiciary.
And up next for update number 2.
The Trump administration received the initial group of white South African refugees into the United States on the identical day it announced the cessation of temporary protected status for more than 9,000 Afghan refugees. The State Department characterized the admission of Afrikaners as a response to unjust racial discrimination they encounter in South Africa, with President Trump asserting they are victims of genocide, a claim South African courts have dismissed. Concurrently, the Department of Homeland Security revoked protections for Afghans, declaring that mandating their return does not pose a threat to their personal safety, despite concerns many assisted U.S. military operations during America's most prolonged war. Refugee advocates condemned the decision as a morally indefensible betrayal of allies. The Episcopal Church declined to participate in Afrikaner resettlement, citing ethical objections. This dual approach aligns with the administration's broader efforts to transform U.S. refugee policies, which have traditionally prioritized individuals fleeing violence, warfare, and persecution.
All right, it's time for our third immigration update.
20 Democratic attorneys general have filed lawsuits against the Trump administration regarding threats to withhold billions in federal funding if states don't adhere to immigration enforcement policies. California Attorney General Rob Bonta, spearheading the legal challenges, described the threats to cut funds for emergency services and infrastructure maintenance as a blatantly illegal attempt to bully states into implementing Trump's agenda. The litigation follows Trump's executive orders last month instructing federal agencies to document sanctuary cities and cautioning they may lose federal funding. 2 separate legal actions target the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Transportation, contending the administration's conditions exceed their legal authority because Congress allocated the funds for disaster preparedness and infrastructure projects. Rhode Island Attorney General Peter Nerona cautioned about creeping authoritarianism that Americans must continue to resist.
By the way, if you want to stay updated on asylum and immigration reform news, then make sure to press the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you don't miss the next video. Okay, moving on, we're ready for update number 4.
The Office of Refugee Resettlement, tasked with caring for unaccompanied immigrant children, appears to be evolving from a welfare organization into an immigration enforcement mechanism under President Trump, according to current and former officials. Department of Homeland Security agents have conducted numerous home visits targeting children and their sponsors, utilizing information supplied by the Resettlement Agency. Trump appointed an ICE veteran to direct the agency and implemented stringent new vetting protocols for sponsors, including no longer accepting foreign identification without legal authorization and expanding DNA verification. Critics argue the agency is deviating from its humanitarian mandate by sharing sensitive information with immigration enforcement. An internal ICE memorandum instructed agents to prioritize locating children who missed court hearings or have deportation orders, raising concerns that the agency is abandoning its mission to safeguard vulnerable minors.
And finally, our 5th immigration update for this week.
The Department of Homeland Security has issued a subpoena for California's cash assistance program for immigrants, demanding comprehensive records from Los Angeles County to investigate whether individuals without legal status receive payments from the Social Security Administration dating back to 2021. The legal action concentrates on CAPI, which provides financial assistance to certain aged, blind, and disabled legal immigrants who are ineligible for Social Security benefits due to their immigration status, including Afghan and Ukrainian humanitarian parolees. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem accused radical left politicians in California of prioritizing migrants over American citizens by giving illegal aliens access to cash benefits. Noem pledged that the Trump administration would work to identify abuse and exploitation of public benefits and ensure those residing in the country illegally are not receiving federal incentives to remain. The investigation follows President Trump's executive order aimed at reducing incentives for individuals living illegally in the United States, which instructs various federal agencies to prevent ineligible immigrants from accessing funds from Social Security programs.
And that concludes this week's immigration news. If you want to win asylum in the United States, then you should call my office today. We help people all over the country, so it doesn't matter where you are. Call us now to schedule an Asylum Strategy Session so that we can assist you in securing your future in America through asylum. Again, I'm Brian Manning, and it's an honor to serve you in your immigration journey.